I am here to answer a few questions that I got from the lovely Toro, the Morphle Guard, or Meg. Hi, Meg! I'm answering your questions. Okay, the first question Meg had for me was, how did me and the Hubster meet? Okay, it's a long and very complicated story of how the Hubster and me became us. So I'll start and just kind of give you the paraphrase version. The first time I met the Hubster, we were all in a group. He was on a date with somebody, and I was with a couple of friends and my younger sister. We all went to the state fair. And I remember thinking that this guy was so weird. I just could not get past the fact that he was just so energetic, and I was trying to be cool and hot and whatnot, which was really lame anyway. But he just, I don't know, I thought he was really weird. Like, at one point in the evening, he found this, like, foil gold wrapper, and he followed me around with it, singing I've Got a Golden Ticket. And anybody who has met him in real life, because I have a couple of my followers that have met him in real life, you will know this is totally normal. This is a normal thing for him to do in the presence of anybody. It's just who he is. And I thought he was weird. And he was a lot heavier then when I met him the first time. And then after that night, I didn't see him again. We went our separate ways. He didn't go on a date with my friend or the person again. And like almost a year later, I had broken up with an ex, or he had broken up with me, and he wanted to still be friends with me. So we were trying to keep our friendship going. He's like, "Hey, want to come hang out?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't have a car. I can't drive out to where you live. You live like 20 miles away. I can't drive out there." He's like, "I've got a friend, and I'm gonna have him pick you up." And he's great. He's an asshole, but he's so much of an asshole that you can't help but love him. And along came the Hubster, and he came to pick me up to hang out, and he had lost a lot of weight, and he had this like southern sort of twang accent going on because he had been in the basic training in whatever state he was in. He had been there long enough to where he had picked up a little bit of an accent, and I didn't recognize him at all. And later on I found out who he was, but immediately when I met that man the second time and I had like learned to know him better, I was like, this man is the man I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. He made me laugh so hard. And he's freaking handsome. I'm sorry. Some people may not think he's handsome. I love the man. I can't get enough of him. And I love his adorable, handsome face. And I thought, this man is so gorgeous. He's hilarious. And he makes me so happy. And I knew from the moment I met him the second time. The first time I thought he was weird. Second time I'm like, this is the man that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. And I did. Or I have been. And I plan to for the rest of the time. Meg also asked me what I do for a living and if I'm a stay-at-home mom. I am a stay-at-home mom. I have no applicable skills whatsoever other than being a mother. I have had 4 jobs before I became a mom. The first one I was a nanny for 5 boys. That was a hard job. After I stopped being a nanny, I became a cashier clerk for a dry cleaners. And as I was working that job, I also worked at a telemarketing job at the same time. I did those 2 at the same time. And then when I got pregnant and married the Hubster said, it's too much stress, because it was. I was very stressed out and very distraught being in school, being pregnant, and working 2 jobs. So I dropped both jobs, and I just started to focus on me and my health and my schoolwork. And I just stopped working, and I just ended up staying at home with my kids. First came along Mel Bell, and then Bubby after that. And then when Bubby was about a year old, we decided to build our house, and I wanted to contribute some way, so I got a job waitressing. So I've had like 3 months waitressing skills because the manager was a dickhole, and I quit the job. It was not a good fit for me. And I'm a mom. That's really all I know, but I am going to school. I am currently enrolled in college, and I am taking courses to either be a teen counselor or a special needs preschool teacher. I haven't concreted one or the other yet. I'm just working with classes that would go towards both degrees at this point. And the Hubster is a enrollment counselor for a university. So that's what he does. The Hubster was in the military. That's one thing she asked me also was about the Hubster's military time. He was. But he was enlisted by a recruiter who didn't take into account his bad knees. He's got really, really bad knees, and so they had to discharge him honorably for medical because he couldn't he's got no cartilage in his knees, so they had to discharge him. Okay, and Meg also asked me if you could spend a day with Bofur in Middle Earth, what would you do? What would I do? Things. No. Before I can answer that question, I kind of want to explain why I've got this great love and attachment to the character Bofur, along with the Hobbit fandom. At the beginning of this year, or the end of last year, my brother-in-law got very sick, and my husband and I spent the last 3 days of his life with him. And when he passed away, my older sister offered, hey, let me take your kids for the day so you guys can have time to properly grieve without putting on brave faces for the little ones. So like, okay. And we spent a lot of time sleeping and crying and mourning, and we were really sad, and my husband said, Jess, let's go and do something. Let's get out of the house. I don't want to think about this anymore. I've been dealing with it head on for the last 3 days. You have too. It's too much. Let's go and do something. So he's like, that Hobbit movie came out, and he knew I'm a huge fan of the Tolkien stuff and Lord of the Rings, so we went to see The Hobbit. And it was the one normal thing that I was able to do and enjoy without being so overwhelmingly consumed with grief. And I don't know, the character of Bofur just reminded me so much of my husband, and to be perfectly honest, the film, the fan fiction, the fandom, all that stuff was a great way for me to get out of my incredibly grieving funk. And I found it, and it was so helpful to me. And I've had my sister and a couple of friends tell me that fan fiction's for nerds, and that if I ever found out I wrote fan fiction, they would like disown me or whatever. But it makes me happy, and I really love it. And I have a special place in my heart for the Hobbit fandom and the characters and Bofur, and it's just, I connect with it so much. So really, if I were to spend a day with Bofur, I would probably just spend it just hanging out, because he seems like a great guy. Like, he would make me laugh just like the husband would make me laugh. But I love, 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 love the Hobbit fandom, which brings me to my next thing that I have to say. It has nothing to do with the questions, but I want you guys to know you should do what makes you happy. Like, seriously. We are put in this life to love and be happy. And I don't mean boyfriend-girlfriend love. That type of love is great, and I love my husband with all my heart, but it's about loving the things you do in life, loving the parts of your life, loving the people in your life, and doing the things that make you happy. Be kind to yourselves. Love yourselves. Do what makes you happy, because when it comes down to it, your life is for you. It's not for the other people around you. Yes, they're part of your life, but when it comes down to it, you need to be happy for you. You need to do what makes you happy. If you like to draw, draw. If you like to write, write. If you like to run and exercise, run and exercise. I hate running. Like, if I were in the freaking Hobbit and I was with those dwarves, I would lay down a little Borg, eat me, and be like, go on without me, because I hate running so much. If the zombie apocalypse happens, I'm screwed, because I hate it. But do what makes you happy. Don't care about what other people think. If it's your parents that are getting you down about the things that you love, you're not always going to live with them. You're going to be on your own one day, and you're going to be amazing, and you're going to love these things that you love, and it's going to only matter to you. And if the people in your life cannot accept the things that make you happy, whether it be who you love, who you are sexually attracted to, what political views you have, what fandoms you like, what hobbies you like, that's about you. Those are the things that make you you, and those are the things that are important, and they should never, ever, ever be ignored. Never. You should always do what makes you genuinely happy. So be kind to yourselves. Embrace yourselves. Be what you want to be, and be happy. Don't get down on yourselves. I know it's so hard, because I see so many of my young followers, and they're so sad sometimes, and I just want to reach through the computer and hug you, because life is hard, but it gets better. It's not always bad. And then the people you are with at school that give you a hard time, they're not always going to be there. And one day you're going to be gone away from them, and you're going to be happy being you. So embrace yourselves. Love yourselves, and please, please, please be kind to yourselves, because you deserve every ounce of happiness you have in your lives. So, got a little bit deep and emotional there at the end, but thank you, Meg, or Toriel of the Mark Word God, for sending in the questions, because I adore you for it, because I was just like, I want to talk to my followers, but I don't really have anything to talk about. So, but that's that. But I love you guys, and I cherish each of my followers, because you guys are just amazing. You are. And I love you to pieces, and I hope that you can have a great day and a great life and find joy and happiness in the things that make you happy. So, that is all I have to say for today. So, bye.